Hi, and welcome to Have a Chat. My name is Miramichi, and I'm your host today, along with my most wonderful co-hosts, Judy Lovejoy and Audrey Lynch. It's funny, we were talking about bloopers just before we came on the air.
I know.
And I was telling the story about that one time I was hosting, and I said, in my head, I meant to say, hi, welcome to Have a Chat. My name is Miramichi, and here's my fabulous co-host, Judy Lovejoy. But what I said was, hi, welcome to Have a Chat. My name is Miramichi, and I'm fabulous.
Yes, I
Oh, really? I missed that one.
Yeah, you did. So
Oh, for goodness
I
sake.
figured I'd get it out of my head because I thought I was going to do it again. But anyway,
welcome. Welcome, everybody,
Yes,
and to our
welcome.
viewers.
We are
I know,
together.
it's good
The sun is shining. It's a
Beautiful
beautiful
Monday.
fall day.
It
It's
is.
now November.
It is.
We'll take it.
So,
Yep.
on the 28th, I wasn't here, but on the 28th marked the end of our 5 years.
Wow.
And this is the first show of our 6th year.
Yes.
That's insane. Can you believe that?
Yeah, 6
We
years.
have been here
We're
that
starting our
long.
6th year on the air.
And we haven't
Yeah.
aged a day.
No.
I mean,
No,
imagine.
I don't think so. I mean, we could watch some of our older
No,
shows
we're
and
not
take a
gonna do
peek.
that.
No, I don't want to
Well, we got to
either.
have congratulations on behalf of all of us
I know.
for all the
Yeah.
people that have tuned in and made
They
the show.
haven't. They
a
haven't cut
success.
us. We're still running.
still
we
here.
have enough
Yes.
viewers that they're keeping us on.
No, we'll take it.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with our quotes, and
Oh.
Audrey, you are up today.
Yeah,
with our
we are.
fantastic quote.
Yeah, well, it is November, and with Remembrance Day just around the corner, you can tell the city's gearing up and getting ready with the decorations and things
Yes.
like that around the city. The little banners that go up in memory of,
Yeah, I
of the
love those.
soldiers. I love that.
They're
That's
beautiful.
my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite new thing that the city has been doing.
I agree.
So I came up with this quote. I didn't come up with this quote. I found this quote. To live in hearts we leave behind is not to die. They shall grow not old, as we are left grow old. Shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. The living owe it to those who no longer can speak to tell their story for them.
Well, we certainly
Love
do.
that.
We certainly do
Yeah.
owe so much
I
to
know.
our people who have served us for decades, centuries, and are still fighting, our peacekeepers
And still,
out there.
yeah, this is not a day just to remember those who are not with us now.
No.
Those who continue to fight the fight.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like they suffer on other levels,
Yeah.
you know,
But we still- and we-
experiencing what they do and having to come back.
And we still have veterans because
Yes.
because they're still off in foreign lands. You know,
Yeah,
we
we
haven't had a
do.
world war, thankfully, but they're
No.
still off fighting wars
No.
all over the globe.
For our freedom.
Yeah.
And we have we have our peacekeepers. I mean, Dad is
Yeah.
Dad is still overseas.
I know.
You know, at his age, and he's with the UN. You know, in the Congo, and you know but he is one of many. Like,
And we're thinking
No,
of him.
that's just it.
too.
I wanted to share. I seen one of the first things I seen on Facebook this morning as I was scrolling through. Besides all of the people, you know, giving thanks for Remembrance Day and knowing that it's coming, was an image that I saw, and I had to stop and I had to click on it and I had to blow it up and really, really look at it. And it was a battleship that was coming into port,
Oh, yes,
and
I
the
saw
World
that.
War II had
I saw
ended,
that,
and it was
yeah.
bringing the soldiers back.
It was magnificent.
It was unreal,
Yeah,
the
I remember.
number of men or soldiers or women too
Both.
that were on that boat, on
Yeah.
every inch of it,
Stunning
hanging
image.
on to come back on that
Yeah.
first boat coming
I know,
back.
I know. It was
It was
a
powerful.
picture speaks 1,000
A
words.
powerful, powerful photograph.
It was.
I can just imagine how many people were standing on the
Yeah.
on the pier waiting for
Yeah.
that boat to pull in.
Well, you know, and there's been a lot of controversy in the last number of years, and it only seems to have come up in the last number of years about, decorating for Christmas before Remembrance Day. And, it always says honor our veterans, don't decorate. But you know what? The best honor that you can possibly show them is by going to a Remembrance Day
I
ceremony.
totally agree.
That is the best thing you can do, because you know what? If we were that concerned, and I know that there are lots, but if we were that concerned about honoring the veterans, we wouldn't. There would be standing room only at every
Standing room
ceremony.
only. There would be a
And I was
lineup to
thinking
get
about
in.
that yesterday.
There'd be a lineup to get
Yeah,
in.
the same sentiments very
And we're lucky here in New Brunswick. We get the day off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I lived in Ontario for a long time, and you don't get the day off. It's a half day typically in businesses. But really, we should
Honor.
see people packed. into those venues.
Yeah.
We should, because we still
Definitely.
have veterans. It's not just those who are in
No,
their
gone.
90s and later. We still have veterans coming home. I have dear friends from high school who are veterans at the age of 46. They fought in wars when they were 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're bearing those scars, and we need to honor them as well.
So we shall do that.
And we will.
Yeah,
We will
absolutely.
definitely do that.
So are we all still in the chocolate coma from Halloween?
I am. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I had my usual.
I'm post contest, so yeah, I'm totally.
You're eating
there.
everything you can get your
I'm
hands
eating everything I can get my hands on. Let the insanity stop
Yeah.
until Christmas.
Judy, you had a significant number of people.
Well, we always do.
Yes.
So we had 250 plus. So of course we're
That's
not
crazy.
mean. So we go out and buy a whole bunch of treats, chocolate bars and chips and handfuls of candy. And
You
I was
probably ran out. Did you
No,
run
I was
out?
trying to monitor it because they were coming in groves of 10, 12, 20. It was
Yeah,
like,
so
I,
how
thought
do
I
you-
thought it was a beauty pageant at one point, but they showed up in the wrong on the wrong night at the wrong place because there were all of these beautiful international students coming from the schools, and they were beautiful. They all had different names from different countries, and I was talking to them all. But okay, so I was trying to monitor the candy, and at the end I had an overload because I was giving out handfuls, but I could have given out 2 handfuls to
Yes.
each person.
Yes.
Oh.
So at
Okay.
the last 2 kids that came to the door, it was 8 o'clock, 2 young girls, about 15. I dumped about 14 chocolate bars and 14 bags of chips in each of their bag. They go, jackpot!
Yeah,
Yes.
really?
But then I've been eating the rest of it every day
Oh,
since.
my land.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chips,
No.
bars. You know what
Yeah.
my husband said this morning? Maybe I should take that to the hospital and give it out to the staff. I said, take it.
Yes,
Take
please.
the box to
Yes,
the
please.
Yeah,
house.
take it. No, it
Too much
does.
salt,
It truly has
too
to
much
be.
sugar.
Yep, the sugar, the chocolate.
Out of
It's-
sight, out
it's
of mind.
insanity. It is.
Yeah, and see, I have a bowl on my desk of
Uh-oh.
chocolate treats.
No, you put that away now.
And it needs to go.
Yeah, it does.
It needs to go. I know. We put it there thinking everybody will. Yeah, no, that's not what happens.
No.
So now we're on a clean slate. It's Monday. No more junk for this week,
No,
girls.
Well,
8
that's all I
weeks
did
to
was eat junk
Christmas.
today.
Shush up. What? How many?
8 weeks?
8 weeks. Oh
Wow.
my goodness.
No, I'm lying. 7.
What else we got on the agenda for today?
Yes.
Well, so the time change happened over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Now, I'm much better with this time change than I am
I
in
am.
spring.
I agree.
I am terrible
agree.
in the spring.
At
I
the
can't
other end.
function. I
No.
don't do well.
I'm
No.
terrible.
No.
this
I had to
time.
drive my son to work this morning for 7 a.m. and I must say the drive was beautiful.
Okay, I was
with the sun
having
coming
sleep.
up and things like that because prior to that it was pitch dark going to
Oh,
work
yeah,
at
for
7
sure.
a.m.
Yeah.
But this morning I was like, oh, okay, I feel good. I feel good
I
about
don't
You
this.
find it tough
I
though,
just
right,
don't
Judy?
adjust well either.
Yeah.
When the clock
You
goes
had
up,
an
it goes
extra
ahead.
hour of non-sleep.
But I feel like I lost an hour. That's how I feel.
There's really
Right.
no good reason though to do the time change anymore.
No.
No?
Like they used to do it to try. It was like the farming and the there was valid practical reasons for the time change. I think
Not now.
from
Don't
what
need it.
from what I understand, there's really no real good reason anymore to do it.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
work on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Judy, you get
I
that
don't
too.
See if I
think,
can
I
reverse
think
that.
that's always been a discussion or an argument every single
Oh,
time.
I'm
they
just
do
off.
it.
No, it needs to go.
I'm just
Okay.
tired.
Yeah.
Okay.
So California wildfires.
Yes.
So
Oh.
like there's thousands and
Unbelievable.
thousands of acres burning.
Yes.
People hundreds of thousands of people being evacuated from their homes. Actually, a good friend of our show, Rachel, her brother has been
Is over
evacuated
there.
from his home.
It's very terrifying.
Yeah.
It is.
Um,
It is.
and-
Because it's like northern California, and it's
What do you think?
because I
like,
remember the fires last
the
year.
fact is that there are 157 billionaires in California, and 1/3 of them live in Silicon Valley. So can you imagine the wealth combined as to how they could contribute to fighting the wildfires? They could so.
Wow.
Like there's all of those big names like Elon Musk
Yeah,
and
yeah.
David Geffen
Yeah.
and
That's incredible.
I know Bill Gates is no longer there, but he
No,
is.
but
He
still.
grew up in that scenario, and he's
No.
worth like $103 billion.
No.
But Trump says that they should do. President Trump, my favorite, says that they should do what Finland does, and they should rake the forest ground,
Yes, that's
and
gonna
then they
fix
should
it.
clean it up. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
okay.
Because he says, which is not true, that Finland
like,
does
what?
that. Finland
That
does
they
that.
rake the
They
forest.
rake and clean their forest floors.
So that doesn't happen.
Audrey.
No.
Okay.
No. So,
I'm like,
now the other thing President Trump has not done, he has not tweeted once about the California wildfires.
But 57% of the 33 million acres of land is federally controlled.
Yeah.
So he should have some say in it's over 50% federally controlled.
Yeah, I agree. And he has tweeted about everything else, including how he's being,
railroaded.
Yeah, railroad. But he has not tweeted about the hundreds of thousands of people that have been evacuated from their homes.
Because Governor Newsom said that you do not believe in climate change. He tweeted back. He's the governor in California, and he said you do not belong in this conversation because you are not for climate change, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Why should he be going on about that when he doesn't contribute
But
at
he
all?
should at
Well,
least
he's
say
contributed,
something.
but he's taking
Well,
funding
at least
away now.
thoughts and prayers with those who are having to go through an experience. Like,
Jesus.
show that you have some sympathy or empathy or a heart or a, I'm being really,
No,
really
you're telling me now.
Enough. Like, you are the president of the country.
So they did vote. So Congress did vote to proceed with impeachment proceedings. Yeah. So they're gonna launch a full-blown investigation now to impeach the president, and now the difficulty will be getting it through the Senate because so Congress is controlled by the Democrats and the Senate is controlled by the Republicans. So the tough piece will be getting it through the Senate, but I would like to think that party lines at some point have to go away and they have to say, okay, look at the evidence that is presented here. We need to make a decision what's best for the country, not just because he happens to be a Republican.
Exactly.
Right? So I mean I hope that that's
It's going to take a long
They actually
reason
say
will
more
prevail.
about the actual facts of the.
Yeah, I hope
and
that
not
that's
let
what's,
it.
I'm not convinced.
I don't know.
That's
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he is like fueling and living off the energy of this impeachment.
Yes. I mean,
period.
he's one of those.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's loving it.
Well, because he feels like he can't. Well, I think he's a little bit more
Scared?
trepidatious about this.
Really?
Because I do think that.
I'd like to think
he's
so,
more on
but-
the offensive now than he used to be. He used to
Okay.
be like, well, whatever, this is me, take me or leave it.
Okay.
So I feel like he's a little bit more afraid, like you said, Judy, than he has been. But I don't know. He feels like he can get away with everything because he has.
Certainly wouldn't go out
And if
peacefully, would
nothing
he?
else, if nothing else, it's attention.
Oh, yeah,
Whether
for sure.
it's negative or positive at this point, I really don't think he cares.
It's all about him.
So far, he's gotten away with it.
No, and it'll be something in the history books that they'll be talking about forever, regardless.
Well, if he was at the time in 1938 before the death camps, I think he'd be okay. Like, you know, that agreeing that was a terrible, terrible, terrible nightmare. I think he would think that Hitler and Mussolini were just wonderful. He'd be saying they were strong leaders, because they're like
I
him.
don't think you're wrong.
I think he would think they were great.
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, let's hope that
Yeah.
we see the impeachment, but I mean, that's just my opinion.
No, exactly.
And he wouldn't go away
That's just it.
peacefully either. Can you imagine? And all those Secret Service men around him, it would be a very huge battle to take him down.
I know.
Well, we just recently had our own election, and everything got.
Yeah. I mean,
Everything was a little shocking there
Well,
too. I would have to
Interesting.
admit,
Yeah,
it was.
it was interesting. I think a lot of people were a little shocked.
Surprised.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
my
just don't
daughter,
know.
I have to say, because I actually have two kids who are now old enough to vote, and one who was only 5 days away from being able to vote.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And she, my 23-year-old, she took political science in university, and so she studied all the parties.
Good.
And she was in front of that TV, and she was just wild to see her passion and to see her drive. And she was trying to have a conversation with me, which I was like, not that I didn't care, but I didn't study it, so I don't
was
know it at
really
the
into it.
level. She really was, and she's going to be a force to be reckoned with
Good. We need
in the
those
very,
strong
very
men.
near future.
Good, we
So,
need it.
yeah,
Good. I'm glad.
no, definitely.
You so Friday night you had a very as always a very busy night.
Yes, I did.
So you emceed a wonderful event.
It was the 7th annual Bags and Bubbles event, which is a fundraiser, a huge fundraiser for the Rotary Club of Newcastle. I know you were tied up. Audrey was able to be there. And it was a sold-out affair for
It was.
250 women
It was.
in the Miramichi. And wonderfully, the money raised, they're still counting the money that's coming in, but the net proceeds go to hospice, the new hospice that's being built as we speak, for companion beds. So that if someone's in the hospital, your loved one's in there and having a struggle with their life, then you can be in there to hold their hand, support them, encourage them, and have a bed in the room with your loved one.
Isn't that?
I think it's
So that-
amazing.
And this was an event, Bags and Bubbles, was like a purse auction for anyone who is unaware of what it was. So it was all women, and we had such a fabulous time. There were some very, very sharp dressed men in the room.
Well, we had the
who
Timberwolves
were
serving too.
Serving
Oh,
us.
very
so
nice. I
That
missed
was
that.
quite the treat.
Lovely.
I missed
the
that.
Timberwolves.
Of your choice from
Yes.
I
the so
missed
and I
that.
must say they did really, really well. They
Yeah.
looked really,
Really
sharp,
sharp
and they
dressed
did
guys.
yeah, they did really well. There was a 50-50, there was a pop the cork. I'm just going to say
Yeah.
I was not one of the lucky ones that
No.
won anything, but that doesn't mean there wasn't a lot given away. The 50-50 draw was over $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was a big night.
It
was
was
fantastic.
the decor was amazing, right?
It was
Cindy
stunning.
from
The
events.
desserts.
I didn't have time to
die
eat
for.
a dessert. Jerry Green and I co-hosted
That's okay.
that.
I
Yes,
ate yours and I ate yours. I did.
That's okay.
And
I'm
we
okay with
had
that.
Darcy McLaughlin as a DJ that night. We had a fashion
Oh.
show put on by
Yep.
Town Square Boutique and Denimore House. So it was a
It
full
was.
night. And my feet were killing me
It
at the end
was.
of the night.
I'm
No.
sure.
In high
And the
heels.
people who were doing the fashion show, like, you know, they
Yeah.
had women of all ages and shapes and
Yes,
sizes,
which is
and they
good.
were having so much fun.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
They were truly enjoying strutting their stuff and
Yeah.
walking through the
Oh,
crowd.
I
Well, I
enjoyed
saw
it.
your dress, Judy, because
Yes.
you always send me a picture, which I always ask Judy to send me a picture when I can't make it an event. And I loved your dress. You look gorgeous.
Thank you. I got that in Las Vegas. I hummed and hawed, and I brought my sister in. She was gone to get a facial or something, and I brought her back. I said, "What do you think of this? You should get it." So I had put it away until the event came up, and
Beautiful.
No,
hauled it out.
no, it was lovely.
So we only have a couple minutes left of
okay.
our quick chat. So just a quick shout out to the Miramichi Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Okay.
So they have their
They have a
gala,
gala coming
on
up.
Thursday. I think it's Thursday night,
Thursday
and they're
night.
award recipients. So it's a wonderful event every year.
There are still tickets until
Yes.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
end
Okay,
of
because
day.
it's a dinner.
Yes,
Yes.
and you're emceeing that
Well,
one.
it'll be
Are
hors
you?
d'oeuvres and such. So
Yeah.
it'll
Okay.
be cocktails are from 6:30 to 7:30, Riverside Entertainment,
yes.
and then we'll have the award recipients, which we named last week. I don't know
We
if you have time
did.
to name them again.
Yes.
But tickets can be gotten through the chamber at 622-5522. Just give Sam a call. Support these lovely employees of the year.
Yes.
A business award of excellence,
Yeah.
etc. It's going to be a great night.
And you're emceeing.
I'm emceeing that. Yes.
And then last but not least, Hospice Home for the Holidays is coming.
That is coming up beginning
It
November
is.
14th.
Yes, to the
Yeah.
17th, eh?
Yes.
If you want to get in the Christmas spirit at all, this is the
Beautiful.
place to start.
absolutely.
It truly, truly is. The
Absolutely.
smell of cinnamon, apple cider, and the Christmas trees and the decorations, it really
I know.
is touching.
And it's going to be
a great cause.
on Wellington Street this year for anyone
Oh,
that
it
wants
is.
to go. Wellington Street, the W.S. Logie Cultural House.
Yes,
Oh, is
yeah,
that
it's a
what-
different
Yeah,
location.
different location.
Go on Facebook and look for Hospice Home for the Holidays to get all of your information, but we'll try to bring it up again anytime we can.
Yeah.
Pitch it out there on
The
its own
date?
Facebook.
14th to the 17th.
Okay,
Yes.
14th to the 17th.
I know,
And
yeah.
there's a lighting and there's an angel. If you purchase an angel in memory of someone,
Yes,
for $10 or more, you get to take that home with you. It's
the
been,
Angels Remembered campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Helping hands.
Yeah, I'd like to get a tree this year because I'm just not in the
I'm
mood
not
to
thinking
decorate
about
one.
Christmas
No,
yet.
it's beautiful.
No, me either. I'm not
It
ready.
is.
I'm
not
still in
ready.
Halloween mode.
That was a lot.
Get all those Halloween decorations down, put the Halloween
Yeah.
costumes away. No, my bathroom was wrote right off. The kids getting all dressed up. There was like blood splatter,
So
makeup
we're gonna
everywhere.
go right to
Oh,
break.
okay.
We are,
And so
okay.
we'll see you after break. We've got some
Okay.
great guests coming, so don't go too far. Grab a coffee and we'll see you. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I'm your host today, Veronique Arsenault, and I, of course, have my fantastic co-hosts, Judy Loge and Audrey Lynch. And we are joined by another incredibly wonderful lady, Stephanie Calhoun. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Welcome. You look so nice
I'm
and rested.
fabulous.
You are fabulous. You
Yes.
are fabulous.
Welcome.
Yeah, we were telling
you.
her about the bloopers before we
Yeah.
came on.
Lots of them.
I know, so many. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my name is Stephanie. I am fabulous.
Yes, yes, you are.
Yes. I'm pretty new to living in Miramichi, actually. I grew up in Fredericton, where I lived up until just over 2 years ago.
Oh,
And I moved here to live with my partner, Chad.
Nice.
And so about my background, I guess I've worked in health and wellness for going on 23 years now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of been my forte. And it's been a little, well, you know, a little varied. There's multiple things that I've been doing. So my official title that I guess I would give myself now is as a holistic health, lifestyle, and nutrition coach.
That's
Okay.
a wonderful title.
tell me more. That's a big one.
Kind of fits,
Yes, that's a
tell
big
us.
one.
Kind
Yeah.
of fits the whole thing. So I like to say oftentimes, you guys might know people who this might relate to, that people sometimes will go into a certain profession because of an issue they might have had with that before, right? So you often hear physicians, they maybe had a parent or a loved one or a sibling that went through some particular health crisis, so
Yep.
that spurred them into going into medicine, right?
Yep.
So in my case, I was always intrigued by health and wellness because of issues that I had from the time that I was a child.
Okay.
So it ended up taking me through a really interesting process of, now I should preface this with I am a huge fan of the medical system and where would we be without it?
Right.
However, it not the system, but I guess it didn't apply to me. Not that it necessarily failed. It didn't really fit what I was needing.
Sure.
Okay. Yep.
So I had been diagnosed with different things in my life from childhood on that were not able to be really treated by traditional
Traditionally.
medicine. Yeah. So I like to look at it as, did I need acute care or did I need chronic care? And I needed chronic care, and I wasn't really getting that.
Okay.
So, you know, that was sort of laying out the path of where I was going to go in life. And fast forward many years, I had a few different injuries and different things that took place, and I ended up stumbling into studying massage therapy. So I practiced as a massage therapist for 13 years.
Nice.
Oh, that's
It's
a good.
been 18 years
yeah.
now, but 13 years I was able to practice, and then I ended up injuring myself. So the nature of the profession and
Oh, I know.
overworking,
So
things
common.
like that, very
Yeah,
common.
unfortunately.
Yeah. So that didn't help me any, but in fact it did help me because it launched me on a new trajectory, a new path. So I started looking at different realms of how I could keep offering health and wellness practices and principles for people, for my clients and new clients, and it opened up a whole new world. So in that process, the only form of medicine, I would say, is not what people would see as traditional medicine. So I also studied something called Ayurveda. Have you guys heard of Ayurveda?
I feel like I've heard it.
No, I have
Yeah,
not.
I've heard,
I've
but
not.
I have no
I
idea.
wouldn't know the
Okay.
details of what
I've
it is.
heard-
So
but
if
I
you ever
have no
watch Dr. Oz, sometimes they talk about Ayurveda on Dr. Oz.
Okay.
So it's basically known as the world's original, or oldest, maybe not original, but oldest known medical system originating from India.
Okay.
And what it looks at is lifestyle and diet as medicine. So whatever
Okay.
someone's problem is, whatever their symptoms or their sign of disease or imbalance, we look at how can we change or adapt our lifestyle and how can we change or adapt our diet to remedy the problem and bring you back to a state of
Yeah.
balanced health.
Right. Makes
Right.
sense.
Right. So when I had a few things going on and I was studying yoga, because I'm also a yoga teacher.
Oh my heavens.
I know.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I
I'm like,
wear
she just-
a few
it
hats.
never
You just keep
stops.
pulling stuff out of the hat. I'm like magician.
Again, Steph, get your bed in my house
I
there.
know.
Oh, come on over. So
We'll share.
no problem.
Gee.
So this yoga is said to be the sister science to Ayurveda. They work together. So while I was studying yoga, I was introduced to the concepts of Ayurveda. And I ended up getting intrigued enough to go and study it. So I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. That's part of my package of holistic health. So that is what really launched me into offering nutrition and lifestyle change for people, one-on-one or in group sessions or online group coaching, things of that nature. And most recently, I guess I've studied to become a nutrition coach just to add that in on top of what I
Super.
already had. So that's kind of my
Wow.
giant spectrum.
And where are you exactly located in Miramichi? I know you're online, you just
In
said
my
that,
home.
but you're in your home and people can make appointments with you
Yes.
and you can only do so much in the run of a day. But
Right.
they take appointments through phone calls, Facebook, and
Yep, all that works. People can access me through Facebook or Instagram or through email or my website.
just Stephanie Calhoun,
My website is www.yourhealthboss.com.
your health
Boss.
I like
Boss.
yourhealthboss.com.
Okay, your health boss.
Yes. So on that, you'll find 3 different platforms. So I guess my subtitle of the website is Eat, Move, and Live.
Eat,
So-
move, and live. I like the last part a lot.
Yeah, right? So those are the 3 categories.
I like the eating part myself.
Well, you know,
I'm
it's interesting because now so for most of my adult life, just before I hit 30, I was very healthy, I was very active, I was all of those wonderful things, made good choices. Then I stopped making those good choices. But what I've noticed in the last, the last 6 months, I've had a chronic back issue, so much so that I couldn't walk up the hall at work. Like it would take my breath away. It would seize so badly. So I've been going to the chiropractor, which has been wonderful, and he's been very helpful. But it really changed. So as much as I wasn't making great choices, but before that, I was making better choices. I was going for more walks. I was eating a little bit better. Since I've hurt my back, it's all I can do to just breathe, right? And I've been making the poorest
Well, you
choices.
can't exercise.
No, and it's funny because I really want to get up and go for a walk right now, and most days I can't. But it's interesting that being hurt and that unwell lately has made me make even poorer choices in what I'm doing and eating and everything, and I'm feeling it. And so then I was starting to feel a little bit better because the chiropractor was really helping me. And of course I overdid it. And so the weekend, I spent most of the weekend in bed. And it's funny because most people have said, well, I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm like, I can't actually
No, that's
get out of bed.
unfortunate. It's very
Except
unfortunate.
like when I go to work.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how those things have such an effect on like your mind, on on the choices you make,
Your
on the things
outlook
that you
on
do.
life.
It
Yeah,
is.
like it just,
It is.
I can't even. I'm just doing well to get up and go to work.
Right.
No,
It's a terrible thing.
Give us
I
some
know what
good
that feels
advice on just some little tips on how we as women, I guess men, but we women on the set can help ourselves, and in particularly this case where you're not able to do it, other things that you may incorporate into your life that can at least give you that lift to a more well-being.
For sure. Well, first thing I would say is just to backtrack to what you were saying around, so it's like one day I strain my back. And I am a firm believer that nothing is ever one day. The body compensates. So it will compensate for a very, very, very long time. So there's always a root cause, and that's what Ayurveda and anything holistic tries to get at, is the root cause. What was originally the problem? And it could be back a very long time, and it can be tough to figure that out.
Yeah.
But it always goes back to, this can be good news and bad news, it always goes back to something that we've done.
Yes.
So-
Oh, I'm sure I did it.
Right? There's a combination, but it could be like hundreds of little things.
Like
that
I
you
fell
do.
off a bike when I was 14,
Right.
and since then I've had a sciatic problem.
Right. Right. So your body compensates, and it's compensated well because you can walk around and move and function. So that's what it does. The body wants to survive and it wants to thrive. So it figures out, how can I still function and do well? So it figures that out up to a point. And then there's something, we use that old expression, the straw that broke the camel's back. So there's one thing that the one day this happened, it was never a one day thing.
Yeah.
No.
And the problem is that one day is usually the part that knocks you
Yeah.
into a state
Well,
of,
it was
I can't
something
do
stupid
things.
I did, to be honest. So I was having an issue. It was like a twinge in my back, and I'd had it for quite a few months. And then it was the church supper, and I did dishes for 4 hours, and then I stopped being able to move after that.
Yeah.
So we don't, is becoming more in tune with our body, is
Yes.
that a lot of what
Yes.
you're based on, and starting to listen? Because I'd have to say that's something I've had to learn to do with the bodybuilding and
was just
lifting
gonna
weights and
say.
things like that, that when I am tired, when I am
Yes.
overworked, and I still drag my butt to the gym, I have to be so in tune with when I am tired and I've had enough, and go, no, that's it. Or lower the weight.
Know your body.
Or
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
a huge, you know
But
what I mean?
she's
Because you
done
feel like, well, you feel like you're giving up, or you're not giving it your all.
Right.
As women, we tend to do that often. I'm afraid.
Well,
you know
I think
what
that
I mean?
can be a
But-
problem when you have a competitive sport that you're doing, or if you also tend to be more of a competitive personality type, then that can be difficult. We're our own worst enemy a lot of the time, right? We're our biggest critic. And even in terms, I'm glad you say that you've had to sort of dial in and notice things for yourself personally, because, training results can have a dramatic shift if people do things like checking their body temperature in the morning, checking their heart rate in the morning. So to get a sense of, is my body actually rested and ready to take on another hard workout, or should today be an active rest day?
Exactly.
And most people
Monitor.
don't
It
look
is.
at that, right?
Yeah,
So
it is.
your body always informs you.
Yeah, because even though I had my sheet, and this is what my trainer was telling me to do, and I had to get up and do fasted cardio you know what I mean? And I'd get up that morning and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
it's not today.
And you've
Today's
had shoulder
not the
pain.
day.
You've had injuries too, and she worked through all of that. I mean, you said
Yeah.
some days your neck, your back were just killing you.
That's just
and
it.
you still it was mind over matter, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you-
Pushing yourself.
So for your clients, how do you help us get more in tune with what's going on with us?
So there's a whole gamut. I have a variety of tools that I have in my tool belt that I can use and people can access information on. But really, I try to get people to keep it as simple as possible. So like you said, I'm doing well to just breathe, right? So that is very oftentimes all people need to actually do just to get started. First of all, pick one thing. You don't have to look at how can I change my entire life today in this 1 minute. It's way too overwhelming and people
Yeah.
don't succeed.
It's too much.
So if they pick one thing to talk about or one thing to look at and implement into their life, that might be the only thing. And realistically, if you're stuck in bed, I was there. I know what it's like to be stuck in bed and not be able to get up. So the only
breathing
tool I
is
had was breathing.
Breathing.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's such a powerful tool. If we can learn to breathe and actually breathe deeply, which most people don't do, then we can actually calm our nervous system. And if your nervous
Yeah,
system can get
exactly.
calm, then the body can heal.
Because the hypersensitivity
You can lower
of
your
your
blood pressure.
all pain is nerve
Yes.
pain,
You
basically,
can-
isn't it? Like it all stems from the nerves. Everything.
Well, and actually, the what we understand now about the human body, I'm a bit of a nerd with this, is that it all stems from the fascia, or the connective tissue.
Exactly.
So I think of that as it's our bodysuit, it's our body fabric that holds everything together, and we understand and know that it's a communication highway. So all information of our body travels through this web
Right.
that we have that holds us together, including emotion. And for the most part, people ignore the emotion side. They ignore what their mental state has to do with it. They ignore the signs of how they're coping or not coping with anxiety or depression or stress, right?
No.
So all these things
They don't
can cause
think that those
inflammation.
things can affect them physically because they don't necessarily see it
Right.
right away.
Right.
I find just from a few clients,
Yep.
because I do hair, and they'll come to me and I'm like, and I notice a huge difference in their hair, and I'm like, something's going on.
Like
Yeah.
fall thinning
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah, their hair will be thinning or falling out, and I'm like, you need to see a doctor because this is either
Yeah.
hormonal or whatever, or
Thyroid.
there's something else
Yeah.
going on. I myself lost a lot of hair this past year or whatever due to stress
Yeah.
and had to take supplements to start rebuilding that back
Yeah.
because I had no idea how powerful that what was
Absolutely.
going on in the
Stress.
inside mentally was affecting the outside.
Stress
it
is a
blew my
killer.
mind.
Yeah.
It's a killer.
Yeah.
It really did. That I was
Yeah.
like, what?
It can
Yeah.
do so many things, nauseating and depression. It can, stress can put you in a real hole.
Yeah.
No,
Right?
no. And then most people, unfortunately, think, well, they're sad. You know what I mean? They're sad or they're not happy. And, you know what I mean? That's all it is. But
No,
Yeah.
no, there's
It's
much
a
But
lot
even
more.
that, like, that's all it is. That's huge.
Yeah.
If people are
It
not
is.
happy, that's huge.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If they're not content or happy in their life, then,
Affects everything.
you know, why would you even try?
yeah.
Right? You know, you
Yeah.
can understand why people wouldn't necessarily
why
feel
they
like
lose
there's
their
any hope.
drive. Or,
Right, to put any
yeah.
effort
And
in.
wouldn't you love to see people get off the medication that there's masking that
Yes.
problem? Like go to
Sometimes,
something
yeah.
more holistic, go
Yes.
to more exercise, go to nature's cures. I mean,
Yes.
okay, I have a headache, I'm going to take that pill right away. Maybe you have to for a migraine or something, but in general, can you give advice as to how you have to wean
Yeah.
yourself off? Certain people are so over-medicated, they can't get to the root of the problem because they're hiding
Right.
the root of the problem
Right.
with pills.
Right. So I look at the root of the problem always as having to do with our emotions, our mental health, as well as what we're doing every day and what we're eating every day. But here's the thing, people get really kind of hyper-focused on the food category, right? There's
Okay.
a ton of focus on food. And should I do macros? Should I do this diet or that diet? And
Yeah.
like, forget that.
Okay.
Understand your body, understand the season, that your food intake might need to change at different seasons of the year and different seasons of your life. And then look bigger at the bigger picture. Like, how many thoughts do you have a day? An average person has between 60 and 80,000 thoughts a day, and we eat 3 to maybe 6 times a day. What's going to have more impact on your health? Your thoughts or your meals?
That's interesting.
I know
Definitely.
that was a little click.
Thought of that.
Yeah.
Right? And usually
Yeah.
our thoughts are ones that are on repeat over and
Yeah.
over and
My
over.
thoughts are mostly food.
right.
I'm like,
Right.
if
Well,
you're
there's that,
thought-
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, planning meals and you know, putting
Yeah.
things together and knowing. But the meal prepping thing has helped with that because when that's done and it's
Yeah.
all and half of that's already done, I can stop thinking about that.
Yeah.
No, I
So-
just think about my events, so my mind, I'm always like having to do
Right.
something, so I'm thinking all the time.
Yes.
But food, I eat well, but it's not my thing that I focus on all the
Oh, see,
time.
I'm OCD
Right.
about it. I'm OCD. But you
So-
know what? I'll say this, and of course I follow you on Facebook, and
Wonderful.
obviously, I love how open you are.
Yeah.
And there was a post actually that really stuck with me the other day, and it was somebody had said something to you, and it struck me because it's been said to me at different times in my life. And I don't know if you want to share it, but it really struck me that you were so open about it, and I loved that. Like I just thought, you know, good for you for saying this is me and this is where I am and this is what I'm doing and this is how it's going to go.
Yeah.
You know.
What was it, negative
Well,
connotation?
yeah, they had said somebody had said to her that she'd let herself go.
What?
Yeah, they said, how'd you let yourself get
Wow,
like
you
that?
walked in, I thought, look at this woman.
I know.
Well put together.
Oh, my
I
land.
really
So
did
here's-
look at you and
well-
say healthy, good-looking,
Oh, my
lovely
land.
woman.
Right, and I am healthy.
And you're beautiful.
I'm very healthy, thank you.
Yes.
I have a hard time with compliments.
Well,
Thank
you are.
So, yeah, the issue was that somebody had said to me, how'd you let yourself get that way? So it's a comparison to how I was at a different time in life. But there was never a conversation in between that looked at, are you happy? Are you healthy? Is any of this sustainable? So I had an exercise disorder. I would over-exercise compulsively.
Okay.
I had a very poor relationship with food, very poor self-esteem,
But were you
high
super,
stress.
super fit?
I was very fit.
So now they're saying that you're not super,
Right.
super fit.
Right.
That
so
you let
this,
yourself
is this
go.
difference.
That's what they meant.
Right. How'd you let yourself go, or how
Man,
did you
that's
let yourself
rude.
get like that?
Rude.
But it's so common that people will judge something by the outside.
Terrible.
Oh,
So
yes.
my biggest shocker, and the thing that I hoped people would pick up on
Yeah.
in that, is that, you know, I live with 3 autoimmune diseases, but I take 0 medication.
Imagine.
So why aren't people asking me how I do that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was supposed to have surgery on my spine. I didn't have to have surgery and I healed my own body. So why aren't people asking how I
my
did that?
gosh.
Yeah.
But the focus is on, well, you've gained 30 pounds.
I know.
I
What's
know.
wrong with
So what's the deal there?
people? It's not
Yeah.
about
Who
the outside. It's not
cares?
about the
No.
outside. It's
Right.
about the
No.
inside.
Right. So maybe ask me the real question, like,
No.
how did you avoid taking medications that could cause cancer? How did you avoid going into deeper depression than you were already in? How did you avoid these other factors?
No.
But those questions aren't as interesting.
Those are substance questions, though.
But
Yeah.
if they were asked, people would get the answers they're actually looking for their own lives. Like,
Right.
it was my lifestyle and my diet. I changed those two things.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit. We have almost no time left in the
Aw.
segment, which is just
I'm like,
yeah.
Bring it
So
back
we,
again.
We want to make sure that, like, if people want to reach out to you, so it's yourhealthboss.com.
Yourhealthboss.com.
Yep. And Stephanie Calhoun, and you're on Facebook.
Facebook is, you can find me at my name, Stephanie Calhoun, or Health Boss Stephanie Calhoun.
Okay.
And Instagram handle is Stephanie_Health Boss.
Amazing job you're doing.
Yeah, we want to thank you, and we'll definitely have you back because it
Yeah.
covers
Oh, yeah,
like some
for
things
sure.
after Christmas
Information.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
we
so,
will. The new
but
year.
we want to thank you for that. We want to make sure that you don't go too far because we've got more show coming up. We've got some great young people joining us just after the break. But we want to thank Stephanie for
Thank
coming out
you.
and joining us
welcome.
today.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
So don't go too far. Grab another cup of coffee. Eat another one of those little mini chocolate bars. 'cause
No,
you don't
don't.
want them.
Because we know you still have some
Or
left.
some
And
water.
we'll be
Throw
right
them
back.
out. Throw them out, right, Stephanie?
And we're back with more Have a Chat. Thanks for joining us and not going far. We had a great guest with us. We had Stephanie Calhoun talking to us about her new endeavor with the health and wellness.
Amazing.
Fantastic
I want to have her
guest.
back in the new year.
Definitely, definitely, for sure. Joining us now, we have three great guests from MBHS. We have Lacey Wiley, we have Isabella Gallant, and Gregor Wilson. Hi, guys.
Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come on a Monday to our set.
Yeah,
Welcome.
you're missing school to be here, but we have something very, very important that we want you guys to share with our viewers. But first, we're going to get each of you to tell us a little bit about yourself. Okay, Lacey, we'll start with you.
So,
Yep, we're good.
I'm Lacey Wiley. I'm a grade 12 student at Miramichi Valley High School. And I've lived in Miramichi my whole life. And like after school, I'm really hoping to go into the medical program.
Good.
Okay,
But I'll start with like Bachelor of Science, kind of go from there.
start from there.
Yeah.
That sounds
Good
great.
for you.
Isabella?
I'm Isabella Gallant. I'm also a grade 12 student at Miramichi Valley High School. After high school, I plan on going into psychology.
Oh, I
So
did
it
that
kind
too.
of fits with the whole theme of today.
Yes.
And then I hope to be a mental health therapist.
I think that's awesome. You've got such great plans.
I'm
Gregor?
Gregor Wilson. I'm a grade 12 student also. I'm more into like the outdoorsy type stuff.
Yes,
so
you are.
I'm gonna be looking into marine biology after school.
Good one. Great. You all have
That's a tough one.
aspirations. Some kids don't have a clue what they want to do, in the
and
last year of high
that's
school.
okay too. That's
Yeah,
okay
I think
because
it's
you're young,
wonderful.
but to have a plan, to
Yeah.
have a goal, and to at least set out towards something, I think is huge at your age.
You all have it.
Yeah, definitely. But we're here to talk, like a little bit, like you said, mental health. Now, you guys, all three of you, plus I would imagine a few more students, are part of a group called Real Talk at MBHS. Now, tell us, who wants to start with telling us what that's all about?
And how it began. Real talk.
Yes.
We can start with Gregor actually because he's kind of the one that,
Spearheaded?
yeah.
Make sure
Okay.
your microphone's on there so we can hear you nice and clear.
Yeah.
There, I'm
Okay.
gonna fix these young people up. Okay, Gregor.
Basically, more than just myself, but a bunch of us and a lot of people see problems around our school. Just little things like the stigma. I mean, it's always going to be there. We can't really eliminate it. But we all kind of like found each other, and we kind of just talked about how we needed to fix it.
So you're talking over and above the normal peer pressures of being
Yeah.
a teenager in high
Yeah.
school. You believe that this day
Well,
and
there's
age,
more than
there's
just
so
that,
much
right?
more to it.
A lot
Right.
of people with anxiety and depression, and they're struggling in their day. Maybe they've come from a dysfunctional home setting,
You
or
never
they're
know.
struggling
On some
in-
level.
Yes,
you
yes, all of that present
So you
in their lives.
just don't know, and you don't know who's struggling with what. So where we want to have, a safe space for everyone,
Okay.
we're trying to get that on the go. We just had a wicked week with our wellness week.
Wellness week.
Wellness
you just
week.
finished with that,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was October 7th to the 11th.
and what did that entail?
So the week was kind of planned to make connections between students and staff, just because so many kids fall through the cracks. If
Yeah.
they have these connections, it makes it harder for them to fall through them. So we planned different things. Like Monday was Motivational Monday, so we put little like sticky notes around the school, teachers did something nice for the students. Students wrote letters for their teachers. And we kind of like followed through with that. Like Tuesday was Talk About It Tuesday, so there was a group of staff and students who were just randomly chosen to go to Pizza Delight to just talk about things and have a nice lunch.
Love it.
Then Wednesday was Wake Up Wednesday. So
That
we
would be
had
my day.
You don't go to sleep, so you don't have to worry about waking up.
Yeah.
we had free coffee and pancakes in the morning for everyone in the school, and we had like live entertainment and
A lot of pancakes.
yeah.
Wow, there
Isn't
would have
that
been
amazing?
free
Audrey?
pancake breakfast. There would have been,
What a
yeah.
group
The
of
syrup
students.
would have been flowing.
Just
What
under
an
800.
idea. And then Thursday?
Thursday was Trivia Thursday, so we made a trivia game kind of based on mental health facts, and on Monday too we had guest speakers.
Gosh.
So we had questions about their like talk and stuff, and then the winning class got to pie teachers in the face.
Ooh.
So that was really fun.
Really fun for the
Yeah.
teachers too. Yeah, they'd love that.
And then Friday was just Fun Friday. We had a ping pong tournament, so it was a staff and a student together, and then we had like lots of prizes and just
Oh my gosh, I'm
Now, how did you
impressed.
find putting on something like that? How did you find, because of what it is we're talking about, to get people who maybe,
Fact.
to reach out to them and want to participate in something like this and be part of it?
I found that we had like a Jack Talk on Monday, so we're
Okay.
partnered with Jack.org, and they're like a national mental health charity.
Yes, Noah Manuel. Isn't he the rep for New Brunswick?
I think
Yes, he is. I was
so.
talking
Yeah.
to him yesterday. I
Yeah.
believe that's his role.
So that kind of opened
the lines
up-
of
yeah.
communication.
We had students that were actually coming up to us afterwards saying like, we're really glad you brought this in. I'm more comfortable like going to someone for help now. So starting off the week with an open conversation kind of gave the means for people to want to talk
Well,
about
that's
it.
good.
I love
That's
the
good.
whole thing. I'm all about this.
No, that's just it. Because I've seen, even from my own experience, just when you're having activities, if you're not that outgoing person, you know what I mean? You tend to shy back and just stay back and not participate. And then with something like this, which is a little more touchy-feely kind of thing,
Yeah.
and being a little bit more open, people might feel a little bit more vulnerable. So having that kind of thing to start off the week to make sure that people, participate in it, I would imagine is what made it part of it a huge success for you guys.
But somebody had to start this whole initiative. Who was that? A student, a teacher? Like someone has to start everything in life, right? You don't just
Yeah.
have a group of people come together and say, this is what we're doing. It's a baby that belongs to somebody.
Real
Well,
talk.
looking at
Are
me,
you it, Krager?
well, I don't want to take like the
No,
fame,
no,
'cause,
but
like,
someone has to get
these
the ball
girls are-
rolling.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've had a lot of people come to me and ask for help,
Good.
and just over the years, right? And I'm not trained to help anyone. I'm just a normal citizen. I do what I can.
Right.
But I've heard from teachers that these two are very, high educated in this, and they do the research, and they like the subject. They want to help.
Exactly.
We do have other people that help, and we have Miss Kelly.
Yeah, a
she-
mentor teacher.
Yeah,
a
she's
teacher.
great. She helps us out.
Elizabeth
bit.
Kelly.
Yeah.
She is amazing, isn't she? I want to give her a
Amazing
big
person.
shout out. I've done work with her, and you're lucky to have her and the rest of the
Yeah.
staff at your school. They do a great job.
Do you find that yourselves, maybe your own personal experiences or your own personal struggles have helped
For
you
sure,
be
definitely.
part of this?
I
Yeah,
think
so because
that-
I would imagine each of you have your own little story
Yeah.
that, things are not always perfect or as they seem. So you have that to share with them.
Nobody's life is perfect. Everybody could use something like that. Every single person at some point goes through anxiety or goes through a bad time or a loss of their spouse
Exactly,
or a
yeah.
loss of a family member or a husband or a child, whatever, a job, financial problems. So, if a parent is a single parent and struggling financially, that's going to affect the child too, right? Because they feel the weight of trying to kick in, trying to help the mom make ends meet, all of that. It's happening globally. It's a
Yeah.
huge issue.
No. Do you find that at your level and your age group that it's actually through the roof?
Yeah.
The numbers are quite high.
100%.
Sad.
Right?
Whenever we first started our group, we actually did a survey throughout our entire school to kind of
Did you?
have like the proof and the numbers to do
Okay.
what we wanted to do.
And what
because
did you find out?
we found that over half of
It was 69% of students.
Wow.
Are affected by
Or they
Some level.
were
or feel.
concerned about their mental health or that of a friend.
Oh, okay.
That
Huge
is-
number.
yeah. No, the
Almost
hair on the back of my
70%.
neck is standing
Yeah,
up.
that's
I'm
almost
just like,
70%.
Yeah.
That's really
really
incredible.
high. So this group does, besides this little thing that you just did and kicked off and had that for the week, what other things does Real Talk do to help with students to
So
cope with this?
the first thing that we did with this was our survey, and that was just to get kind of the ball rolling. We also got all of our staff trained in Lifeline, which is like a comprehensive suicide prevention
Right.
training.
Okay.
We are working currently on getting our guidance space upgraded. So when you first walk into our guidance space, there's a lot of windows and it's not really like private or anything.
No.
So we're working to get that renovated and fixed up so students can feel more like confident.
Secure. And
Yeah.
Safe.
Yeah, for sure. Our wellness week was kind of our big event for this year. That took us about 14 weeks to plan.
Well planned.
Yeah, we had a lot of sponsors. We didn't really have to pay for much the entire week. We had Sobeys Douglastown sponsored
Yeah,
the
they're awesome.
pancakes. Sydney Matchett from Miramichi Real Estate, she sponsored the coffee for us that week. So we had a lot of
Great people.
And the
People
school
helping
too,
us out.
they paid for a lot of things. They
Yeah.
were really helpful throughout the whole week. And the teachers volunteered like so much of their time too to help. So
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
united-
think that's a great thing. Teachers alone
Yeah.
being more open with their students, that
Yeah.
they're not
Exactly,
just the teacher
Yeah,
and
I
teaching something for a student to feel a little, because I know I've said to my daughter, just ask your teacher a say, and they're like, oh,
I know.
and I'm like, you're kidding me. I'm shocked by the actual little bit of a divide there. So see the teachers,
yeah.
participate and be more open to receiving what the kids.
That's kind of one of our main goals as a group
Is
is to
it?
establish those relationships between staff and students, because when you
Okay.
have students that are struggling, it's really important that they have like the support network around them.
I agree.
Yeah, and even
I
though
totally agree.
teachers aren't like obviously they're all not like psychologists
That's
and
right.
therapists
They're
and
paid
things
to
like
teach,
that.
basically.
Yeah, they're paid
Exactly,
to
yeah.
teach. They
But
have a
it's-
job to do.
It's
Yeah.
important that they can go to the staff and then be redirected towards the help that they
Exactly
need.
right.
And that's why we also got the staff trained in Lifeline. It's someone's like they recognize like symptoms of students that are struggling. Of course. They can say like, okay, this is where you can go to get help, and they can have the people kind of.
My gosh, I'm proud of you. And are you?
That's
would you
great.
consider yourself the executive? You three are the core group, and then you have a class meeting once every so often that anyone can come and give ideas.
There's only 6 of us right now.
All right.
Oh,
So
okay.
we all kind of have our executive positions,
Right.
and we're looking at opening the group up to the entire school right now. So once that gets opened up, we'll have our executive meetings, and then we'll also have our meetings
Yeah.
with like the entire, not the entire school, but whoever is really interested in
Can invite
attending.
guest speakers in. I mean, this is
Yeah.
something that shouldn't be focused on. Like you're doing a great job because sometimes just focused on biannually. This should be
Yeah.
something that's
No.
ongoing as you have
Exactly.
started this. This is a regular Monday to Friday episode every week that there's people struggling. It's
No.
not a session that you should throw in one December and one May.
Yeah.
No,
It-
because
it-
for these students, they go home and it's still a struggle for them at home.
Exactly.
Right,
We don't know what they're
Right?
struggling
It's
with,
just
yeah.
not the school hours.
No.
To be able to give these students and these kids
Coping.
the tools and coping skills to not only just survive at school, but to get through their day at home as well.
We don't know what
Yeah.
goes on behind closed doors in any home. Actually, do we?
No, exactly. That's just it, because you three are looking to, to go on to university and move on. So you have to be able to set the path and set up things so that this will be continued.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we're
After
looking
you
for.
move
Someone,
on.
someone
Okay.
we can trust that'll actually, fill in with our shoes and do the right thing, right?
Yeah.
And not just to be there to say, oh, I'm part of this group. Someone
No.
that wants to do it.
someone has
Exactly.
the same passion that we have
Yeah.
Exactly.
towards
That's right.
the mental
The
health.
passion is really what drives this entire group. Like each of us are
Okay.
so passionate about it that it's kind of drives us to want to
Big
do
word.
more.
It's a key word.
Yeah.
Passion. And Greg, you were saying people, even though you don't have any experience as a counselor at your age, they're drawn to you because you must come across, you've built up your character to be that of a trusting person. And trust is key in anything. It has to be that open
Yeah.
communication. And if I was going to tell you that I was feeling really down and that I went to bed every night crying because I didn't feel welcomed at school, I would feel so good knowing that there's a Gregor Wilson and an Isabella and a
Lacey.
Lacey out there that I could actually go to and get comfort from. And you could say, this is some things we can do to help you.
No.
You have to establish that relationship, and you're doing a wonderful job putting yourselves out there.
No. Because,
we-
it's great that the kids have friends or whatever. Like Danae will say, oh, I can just talk to my friends. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, but it would be better if you spoke to somebody who, you know what I mean, who was outside your friends.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
sometimes your friends can have their own agenda and have their own
Opinion.
Biased opinion of
what you should do. So it should really be, outside that.
I
though
agree.
at their age, she doesn't necessarily want to talk to an adult either.
No.
So a group like this, I think, would benefit
I
a
think
number of
it's
schools.
Amazing.
Well, that's the thing. JMH has their project ETS and the stigma,
Yep.
and they kicked off great. But when we first started, we messaged Sean and all them, and we're like, we want to skip the 101 mistakes. So that they did help us big time.
They helped us
Yeah.
a lot.
So you're feeling rewarded with your initiative. You're feeling
Oh, for
like
sure.
you're making strides every day, and that you have
Yeah.
more kids coming out and talking about their issues, and that the focus is really on it now.
And
Mental
there's
health.
For
a lot
sure.
of students too that like during Wellness Week especially, they came up to us and were like, "We love what you're doing. Like this is really making a difference in the school." So that's what like the best part is.
It's
Yeah.
gratification.
It's hearing
Yeah.
those few little words to know that you are doing the right thing and you're doing a good job, and that
Exactly.
all your hard work and effort is paying off on some level, even if it just helps that one little person for that one moment,
I
right?
think I cried like 4 times
Yeah.
during Wellness Week because people just like kept coming up to us
Crying
and
is a very
saying things.
therapeutic thing.
Yes.
Very.
It's just
sure.
so like rewarding and nice to see like all your hard work paying off and how it's affecting people and kind
Keep
of
doing it. Take it right through your whole life.
No, that's
Don't,
just it.
like-
Just because you're ending high school, that doesn't
No.
mean that university level will carry its own set of challenges as
Exactly.
well, right? Or adulthood.
Yes, but you're embracing the issue,
no.
and you're gathering your information, and you're definitely making
stigma.
a difference out
Exactly.
there. The three of
Right.
you and the people that are involved with you are making a huge difference, and don't forget that.
No, never.
So
what's
proud.
the future? What's the next step? What's our next plan?
Our next major goal is the guidance space, just
Okay.
because like it's kind of like a fishbowl. So we just it's hard to reach out for help whenever you feel like you're being watched and judged by
Okay.
everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
Privacy.
Just,
So
yeah.
what are you
Yeah.
thinking? What do you think that room should look like?
We want it to be more like cozy and like kind of like a living room, so you feel more comfortable. So nice like cozy couches
Yeah.
and some dim lighting,
Lamps or
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
something that's calming and
Yeah.
not so much as like the
Because not
school
necessarily dark,
fluorescent lights.
dungeony kind of.
Yeah.
things. You don't
Yeah.
want that either, right?
No.
Kind of
Some
thing.
nice words on the wall, you know, something you can just look at and read, some nice pictures, just something soothing.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
You want the
Yeah.
right ambiance.
Exactly. Different things
Exactly.
like that. I'm for myself, though I don't necessarily need a window, one of those little things that you hear water running, or you
Yes.
see the water
Yeah,
running.
very
I
therapeutic.
find very, very, the music, lighting, salt lamps, things like that
Yeah.
give off a positive type energy. And those are the kinds of things that I find help me,
Even
when it's
paint
time.
colors, they say,
Exactly.
Yeah.
are
Can
important.
be
You don't go
huge.
bright because
Can
it's
be
loud on the
huge.
brain, so you go
Yeah.
subtle and calming and
So I would imagine you'll do your research on what the room should look like, and then
Yeah,
together
definitely.
collectively
Sure.
decide. Now, are you looking for sponsors or funding, or do some fundraising to get the job done?
Yeah,
'Cause-
we have some funding right now. The school's rugby coach, do you know his name?
Brent Garish.
Yes.
Okay.
Brent Garish.
Yes, he actually donated $500 to our group when we first started
Oh,
up.
nice.
And we've just
Okay.
had that money kind of sitting in an account for a
Okay.
little while, so that's going to be put towards this.
Good for him.
And then we're hoping to just do a few fundraisers and things like
And that really came out of the blue. Like
Yeah.
Garish, he goes way back with my father playing rugby, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just out of the blue. Miss Kelly told us, and we're like, whoa, like that's crazy, you know.
That he's donating.
Yeah, it was
us,
just insane because we didn't expect it. Like, I mean, I'm not sure if you guys
I
know him
think
or
it
not.
was our like second meeting.
Yeah.
It wasn't even
Yeah.
a meeting. They're
It was
just
when
like
the
everyone
group
come
first
to Miss
started.
Kelly's room.
Yeah, we have good news, and then boom, $500.
Oh, perfect. That's
Good
a
things
start.
come back to
Yeah.
those who give, let me tell
No,
you.
Exactly.
exactly. So now, do you guys have a Facebook page? Because believe it or not, we're almost out of
Oh.
time for the show.
Okay.
So
We do have a
You do?
Facebook
Okay.
and an Instagram. It's just MV Real Talk,
MV Real Talk.
all one word.
MV
All
Real
one
Talk,
word.
folks. Support these young people. I give them credit. And
Yeah.
Audrey, we're so
Definitely.
proud to have you doing
And if
this.
you have any ways or means to fund and help them raise the money they need to create this room and renovate, please do that.
Mm-hmm.
We want to thank Gregor, Isabella, and Lacey for joining us
Very
today.
much.
Thanks
And
for
we want to
having
thank
us.
you, our viewers, for watching. We'll see you again
Keep up
next
the
week.
great work.
Bye-bye
See you.
for now.